Hey champ, you know what time it is, man. We got work. Today I'm going to teach you how to do your head movement. So this is the beginner's guide how to do head movement in boxing. We're going to start us off with the slip, then I'm going to teach you how to do a duck, and then I'm going to teach you how to roll underneath those punches. Let's get going. So starting off, we're going to talk about your slips. When you do a slip, one way to really practice it would be touching your knees. So we're going to go into your stance. When you do your slip, touch your knees. Notice how that gets your head out of midline. When you're starting off with the slips, it's okay when you're sparring to exaggerate the movement first. At the beginning, it's okay to exaggerate these things, that way you get the gist of the movement. But eventually, once you start to spar even more, you'll notice that boxing is a game of inches. You don't want to make him miss by a mile, because by the time that you're out for a counter attack, his hands are already up. You want to make sure you make him miss a little bit, and then that gives you an opening for a counter attack. Slip, boom. See that? But if you slip all the way down here, by the time that you throw your punch back, guess what? His hands are up and you've lost your opportunity. So when you do your slips, watch the way I do it first. I'm distributing my weight, my lead leg to my rear leg. I'm going to slip to my right side. I'm going to slip to my left side. I'm going to load my lead leg, just like this. Now, if I practice it, touch my knee, touch my knee, touch my knee. It'll give you the gist of the movement. Eventually, just stop touching your knee. Next up, let's go ahead and go over your ducks. So this would be something you do if you're trying to duck down underneath a hook or even your linear punches. When you duck down, you're gonna go straight down. There's some counters involved with that if you want to, but it's legit just ducking down just like this. Southpaw stance, it looks like so. Same idea. You wanna make sure you keep your weight distribution 60 to 40%. So 60% my back leg, 40% my rear leg. That way, by the time you do come up for a counter attack, you're well in balance. If you can't hold the movement, you're out of balance, and if your counterattacks are not going to make sense. So you want to make sure when you're ducking down, straight down. If you have a counterattack ready, throw it right off of the bat. So same thing, just like the slips, you want to make sure you exaggerate this near the beginning so you get the gist of the movement. Then eventually, just again, game of inches, not miles. Just like that. And lastly, these are your rolls. So say for example, somebody's throwing a left hook at you, you're gonna roll underneath, you're gonna make a letter U. Duck straight down. Now I'm weight distributing towards my lead leg, and I can counter back with something. If I'm gonna roll under to my rear leg, I'm distributing weight to my rear leg, counter back. So rolls are great for dodging things like your hooks. It's an easy way to set up for a quick counter attack. So to reiterate, when you roll under, you're going to try to make a letter U with your body. And just like we did with the slips, we're going to exaggerate the movement until eventually you learn that you cut the distance a bit shorter so you have the opportunity for a counter attack. Let's go ahead and review. When you slip, practice this first. Touch your knee, getting your head out of midline. This is a head movement trick that you're going to use to dodge your jabs and your crosses. Sometimes hooks too. But for the most part, this is what you're gonna use to slip a jab or slip a cross. The duck, just go straight down. One combination I use with duck would be 1-2, duck down, right uppercut. So if you're gonna lure them in with a 1-2, you're gonna come forward, overreach, pop an uppercut right down the middle. But to reiterate, just go straight down, duck down. So if somebody's throwing a hook at you, duck it. Sometimes even throwing a right cross at you or a lead cross at you, duck it. When you roll under, this is when you make a letter U. That way you can load your leg for a counter attack. So if somebody's throwing hooks at you, this would be a great way to dodge it. Boom, boom, just like so. Anyway, try this out in your next sparring match. See you in the next one.